What if the world you dreamed of turned its back on you for being you? In 1876 Colorado, Mav O'Connor's fire is about to spark a fight that'll set Silver Creek ablaze. Stay with us, this tale of courage and secrets will grip your soul from the first shot. The wind howls across the frost-bitten plains of Silver Creek, Colorado, painting the dusk sky in streaks of orange and crimson. It curls around a lone stagecoach, its wheels groaning over frozen ruts, kicking up clouds of icy dust. Inside, Mav O'Connor, 27, clutches a leather satchel, her auburn braids tucked under a green wool shawl. Her warm brown eyes, sharp with hope and grit, scan the horizon. Her calloused hands, forged by years at a Philadelphia smithy, grip the satchel's handle, where a Celtic knot pendant dangles a keepsake from her mother. At 5'5", Mav is sturdy, her gray work shirt and leather apron stained with soot, her brown trousers practical for the forge she was promised in Silver Creek. 8 months of letters from Lydia Crane, the saloon owner, had lured her west. Lydia's words, scrawled in sharp ink, spoke of a bustling town needing a blacksmith's apprentice, of a place where Mav's Irish lilt and hammer skills would find purpose. Come to Silver Creek, the final letter read, tucked in Mav's shawl. Here you'll belong. But Mav knows the sting of being too much, her auburn hair, her accent, her refusal to shrink for a world that loves sameness. The stagecoach lurches to a stop outside Silver Creek Saloon, a weathered clapboard building with swinging doors and a crooked sign. Mav steps into the biting cold, her boots crunching frost, her breath clouding in the twilight. The town is a patchwork of lanterns and muddy trails, the air thick with wood smoke and the tang of whiskey. Townsfolk linger near the general store, their eyes snagging on Mav's hair. A cascade of fire under her shawl. A woman in a bonnet whispers to her husband, her words lost but sharp. A cowboy by the saloon smirks, muttering, that Irish girl's gonna stir trouble. Mav squares her shoulders, her satchel heavy with tools and hope. Lydia promised to meet her at dusk when the stage rolled in. The saloon's porch is empty, save for a stray cat, slinking into the shadows. Mav waits, the wind clawing through her shawl. Her heart is steady. Drumbeat. Minutes stretch, the cold seeping into her bones, but she stands firm, her silhouette fierce against the fading light. A woman emerges from the saloon, her crimson silk dress gleaming, out of place in the prairie's grit. Lydia Crane, 40, is slim, her blonde hair pinned tightly, her gray eyes cold behind a charming smile. A gold locket glints at her throat, hiding a key. Miss O'Connor, she asks, her voice smooth as polished stone, her gaze locking on Mav's hair, then her work-worn clothes. Mav, she replies, her Irish accent soft but unyielding, offering a cautious smile. You must be Mrs. Crane. I'm here for the smithy job. Lydia's smile tightens, her eyes sweeping Mav again. You didn't mention you were Irish, she says, the word sharp, like a nail driven into wood. Or that hair, it's noticeable. Mav's smile falters, but her voice stays steady. I didn't think it mattered. You wrote of needing a blacksmith, someone skilled. That's me. Lydia adjusts her lace gloves, her tone clipped. Silver Creek small. Folks here like familiar. An Irish woman, bold as you are, won't fit. The job's no longer open. The words hit like a hammer on cold iron. Mav's fingers tighten on her satchel, her brown eyes blazing. You promised me a place here, Mrs. Crane. I crossed a continent on your word. Promises bend, Lydia says, already turning, her dress rustling. There's a stage east tomorrow. Be on it. She disappears into the saloon, leaving Mav alone. The town stares burning like embers. A man by the general store chuckles, muttering about that red-haired foreigner. Mav stands frozen, the weight of rejection sinking in. Her savings are gone, spent on the journey. Philadelphia, with its sneers and closed doors, is no home to return to. The prairie stretches beyond, vast and unforgiving, whispering of chances yet to come. A low voice cuts through the wind, steady as a lantern's glow. Not many brave. The stars burn cold above the Silver Creek plains, their light glinting off frost that clings to the grass like a shroud. Cheyenne blackthorn's trading post looms ahead, a log cabin sturdy against the wind, its chimney trailing smoke into the Night, Mev O'Connor, 27, trudges beside Cheyenne, her auburn braids swaying under her green wool shawl, her warm brown eyes sharp with resolve. Catch the lantern glow from the post's windows. Her gray work shirt and leather apron, dusted with frost, mark her as a blacksmith. Her satchel heavy with tools and a Celtic knot pendant gleaming at her throat. At 5'5", she's a figure of grit, her boots crunching the frozen earth. Cheyenne, 35, leads the way, his buckskin jacket adorned with Cheyenne beadwork, black hair tied with rawhide, an eagle feather catching the starlight. His deep hazel eyes hold a quiet strength, his 6'3" frame moving with a trader's ease. A beaded knife sheath at his belt. You'll find warmth here, Mev, he says, his voice steady as the prairie itself. And work, if you want it. Inside, the trading post is a haven of warmth and clutter shelves lined with furs, beads, and tools, a forge glowing in the corner. A young Cheyenne girl, Sanny, 12, sits by the fire, her twin braids adorned with red thread, her dark brown eyes wide with curiosity. Her buckskin tunic is patched, a beaded pouch with a stone talisman hanging at her waist. She looks up, startled, as Mev enters, her small frame tensing. "This is Sanny," Cheyenne says, his tone softening. "She stays here since her folks passed, helps with the trade." Mev kneels, offering a gentle smile. "I'm Mev. I fix things, hammers, blades. Maybe I can fix something for you." Sanny nods shyly, clutching her pouch, a flicker of trust in her eyes. The next morning, sunlight spills through the post's windows, painting the frost outside in hues of gold. Mev sets up at the forge, her hammer ringing as she repairs a Cheyenne trader's broken axe. Her auburn hair glows, her brown eyes focused, her hands steady despite the ache of Lydia Crane's rejection. "You didn't mention you were Irish." Lydia's voice echoes in her mind, sharp as a blade. Mev shakes it off, her hammer striking true. Sanny watches, her small hands sorting beads. "You're strong," she says, her voice soft but clear. "Not many women work a forge." Mev grins, wiping sweat from her brow. "Where I'm from, strength's all I had." "You're strong too, Sanny. Living out here," the girl's smile is fleeting, her eyes shadowed by loss. Cheyenne leans against a post, his hazel eyes warm. "You're good with her," he says, handing Mev a dented plow blade. "And with that hammer, the Cheyenne traders trust you already." Mev pauses, her heart lifting. "I'm used to proving myself. Back in Philadelphia, folks called me that Irish firebrand. Never fit their mold." Cheyenne's gaze steadies, his voice low. "I know that weight. Half Cheyenne, half white, never quite fit anywhere. This post is my mold, carved my own way. You can too." Their eyes lock, a spark of understanding passing between them. Like embers catching in dry grass, Mev's fingers brush his as she takes the blade, the touch brief but electric. Outside, the town's whispers creep closer. Lydia Crane's voice carries from the saloon, her crimson dress flashing as she speaks to a shopkeeper. "That Irish woman's trouble," she says, her gray eyes glinting, stirring up Cheyenne's post. "Drawing Cheyenne riffraff. Silver Creek don't need her kind." The shopkeeper nods, his glance uneasy, but the rumor spreads like frost over glass. Mev hammers on, oblivious, her rhythm a defiance against the town's judgment. Sanny brings her a torn saddlebag, her small hands trembling. "It was Mima's," she whispers. "Can you fix it?" Mev nods, her needle threading. Leather with care, her voice soft. "I'll make it strong again, Sanna, like you." The girl's eyes shine, a bond forming. But as night falls, Cheyenne steps outside, his breath clouding in the cold. His eyes narrow at fresh hoofprints in the snow, leading toward the post. Trouble's coming, he mutters, gripping his knife. Inside, Mev's hammer stills, her brown eyes meeting his, sensing the shift. The prairie holds its breath, the stars above whispering of a storm. The crescent moon hangs low over Silver Creek, its pale light glinting off snow-dusted plains. The wind howls, carrying the scent of pine and danger past Cheyenne Blackthorn's trading post. Inside, the forge glows like a heartbeat, casting shadows. Across the log walls, Mev O'Connor, 27, hammers a plow blade. her auburn braids swaying under a green wool shawl. Her warm brown eyes, sharp with focus, reflect the firelight, her gray work shirt and leather apron smudged with soot. At 5'5", her sturdy frame moves with a blacksmith's rhythm, her Celtic knot pendant glinting at her throat. Cheyenne Blackthorn, 35, stands by the door, his buckskin jacket adorned with Cheyenne beadwork, black hair tied with rawhide, an eagle feather catching the lantern's glow. His deep hazel eyes skin the darkness outside, his 6'3" frame tense. A beaded knife sheath at his belt, Sanny, 12, sits near the forge, her twin braids threaded with red, her dark brown eyes fixed on a torn saddlebag Moev mended. Her buckskin tunic is patched, a beaded pouch with a stone talisman clutched in her small hands. The hoofprints you saw, Moev says, her hammer pausing, her Irish lilt steady despite the unease in her chest. Trouble's coming, isn't it? Cheyenne nods, his voice low, like the prairie's whisper. Lydia Crane's got eyes on this post-art trade goods, Cheyenne furs. She's hired men to take what's ours. His gaze flicks to Sanny, softening. Stay close, little one. We'll keep you safe. Sanny's eyes widen, her fingers tightening on her pouch. Like you kept Ma and Pa safe? She asks, her voice trembling. A wound laid bare. Mev kneels beside her, her hand gentle on Sanny's shoulder. We're here now, Sanny. No one's taking anything from you. The girl leans into her, a fragile trust forming, like ice thawing under a spring sun. The air splits with a cracked gunfire. The post's window shatters, glass spraying like frost. Cheyenne dives, pulling Santa behind a crate, his rifle drawn from a rack. Moev, get down, he shouts, his voice a blade through the chaos. Mev grabs her hammer, her brown eyes blazing, and ducks beside a barrel, her heart pounding like a war drum. 3 outlaws burst through the door, their faces masked with bandanas, revolvers glinting. Hand over the goods, half-breed. One snarls, his voice rough as gravel. Bullets spark off the forge, sending embers flying. Cheyenne fires, his shot dropping an outlaw with a grunt, blood pooling on the floorboards. Mev swings her hammer, catching another's arm, the crack of bone echoing. The man howls, his gun clattering, and she kicks it away, her breath ragged but her stance unyielding. Sanny huddles, her small frame shaking, but her eyes are fierce, clutching her talisman. For Ma, she whispers, tossing a tin cup at the third outlaw's head, distracting him. Cheyenne tackles him, his knife flashing, pinning the man to the ground. Who sent you? Cheyenne growls, his hazel eyes burning. Crane. The outlaw gasps, before Cheyenne's fist silences him. The post falls quiet, save for the wind's moan and the forge's crackle. Moev's arm trembles, blood trickling from a graze on her shoulder, her shawl torn. Cheyenne checks her wound, his touch steady but urgent. You're hurt, he says, ripping a strip from his shirt to bind it. Their hands brush, a spark of warmth in the chaos, their eyes locking fear and trust entwined. You fought like a Cheyenne warrior, he says, a faint smile breaking through. Mav's lips curve, her voice soft. Had to, this place, you. Santa, it's worth fighting for. Sanny creeps forward, her dark eyes shining, and hugs Mav, her small arms fierce. Cheyenne's gaze shifts to Sanny, his voice heavy. This post ain't just trade. It's near a Cheyenne burial ground, sacred land. Sanny's folks died protecting it from men like Cranes. We can't let her take it. Mav's heart clenches, the weight of Sanny's loss sinking in. She grips her hammer, her resolve hardening like iron in the forge. Outside, fresh hoofprints scar the snow deeper now. Circling closer, the prairie holds its breath, the stars above glinting like a warning of the storm to come. The dusk sky over Silver Creek, Colorado, burns with streaks of violet and gold. The prairie's frost-crusted grasses swaying like mourners in the wind. A narrow canyon cuts through the plains, its red rock walls hiding a Cheyenne burial ground, where sacred stones stand sentinel, etched with symbols of sky and earth. Moev O'Connor, 27, trudges through the snow, her auburn braids tucked under a green wool shawl, her warm brown eyes sharp with resolve. Her gray work shirt and leather apron are bloodied from the ambush at Cheyenne's trading post. A bandage on her shoulder stiff under her brown trousers. At 5'5", Her sturdy frame carries a blacksmith's hammer at her belt, her Celtic knot pendant glinting faintly, a tether to her past. Cheyenne Blackthorn, 35, leads the way, his buckskin jacket adorned with Cheyenne beadwork, black hair tied with rawhide, and eagle feathers swaying in the breeze. His deep hazel eyes scan the canyon, his 6 feet 3 inches frame tense, a rifle slung over his shoulder, a beaded knife sheath at his belt. Sanny, 12, follows close, her twin braids threaded with red, her dark brown eyes haunted but fierce. Her buckskin tunic is dusted with snow, a beaded pouch with a stone talisman clutched tightly, her small frame shivering but unyielding. This burial ground, Cheyenne says, his voice low, like the prairie's hum. It's where Sanny's parents rest. Lydia Crane wants it for a land grab, sell it to cattlemen. We can't let that happen. Mev's heart clenches, her brown eyes meeting Sanny's. We won't, she vows, her Irish lilt firm. This place is sacred, it's yours. Sanna, the girl nods, her fingers tracing the pouch, a silent promise to her lost family. They reach the burial ground, a clearing, where stones stand in a circle, their carvings glowing faintly in the dusk. The wind stills, as if the prairie itself holds its breath. Mav kneels by a stone, her hand brushing its cold surface, feeling the weight of its history. It's beautiful. She whispers, her voice thick with reverence. Sanna steps closer, her eyes glistening. Ma said it's where our spirits rest. She died keeping it safe. Cheyenne's jaw tightens, his hazel eyes shadowed. She was brave, like you, Sanna. Mav watches him, sensing a deeper wound, but before she can speak, Sanny's voice breaks the silence. Cheyenne, she says, her small hands trembling. Ma was your sister, wasn't she? You're my uncle. The words hit like a thunderclap. Cheyenne freezes, his eyes wide, pain and truth warring within them. Mav's breath catches her gaze, darting between them. Sanny, Cheyenne rasps, kneeling, his voice raw. I didn't know for sure. Not till now. I was away trading when she died. I swore to protect you, like she did this land. Sanna flings herself into his arms, sobbing, her pouch pressed between them. Mav's eyes sting, her hand reaching for Cheyenne's, their fingers entwining, a silent vow to guard this new family. A rifle shot splits the dusk, shattering the moment. 3 outlaws emerge from the canyon's shadows, their bandanas pulled tight, revolvers gleaming. Crane wants this land, one bellows, firing, the bullet grazing a sacred stone. Mav dives, pulling Sanna behind a boulder, her hammer drawn, her brown eyes blazing. Cheyenne fires his rifle, dropping an outlaw with a clean shot, blood staining the snow. Mav swings her hammer, catching another outlaw's knee, the crack echoing. As he crumples, screaming, a third grazes her arm with a bullet, blood seeping through her sleeve. But she grits her teeth, tackling him with a fierce cry. Cheyenne pins him, his knife at the man's throat. Tell Crane she'll never take this ground. He growls, the outlaw nods, scrambling into the dark. Mav slumps against the boulder, her arm throbbing, her shawl torn. Cheyenne kneels, binding, her wound with a strip of his jacket, his hazel eyes fierce with worry. You're tougher than iron, Mav, he says, his voice soft but steady. Their hands linger, a spark of something deeper igniting in the cold. Sanny huddles close, her dark eyes wide. Clutching her talisman, the canyon darkens, the sacred stones standing resolute, but fresh hoofprints scar the snow, circling closer. The prairie whispers of a bigger fight looming, its winds carrying the scent of gunpowder. The stars blaze over Silver Creek, Colorado, their light cutting through the frost that cloaks the plains. The town hall, a weathered barn, hums with tension, its lanterns casting a golden glow across packed benches. Mav O'Connor, 27, stands. At the center, her auburn braids gleaming under a green wool shawl, her warm brown eyes fierce with resolve. Her gray work shirt and leather apron are bloodied from the canyon ambush, her shoulder and arm bandaged, but her 5 feet 5 frame is unyielding, a blacksmith's hammer at her belt, her Celtic knot pendant a quiet anchor. Cheyenne Blackthorn, 35, stands beside her, his buckskin jacket adorned with Cheyenne beadwork, black hair tied with rawhide, an eagle feather catching the light. His deep hazel eyes burn with purpose, his 6'3" frame steady despite a limp from the fight. A beaded knife sheath at his belt. Sanny, 12, clings to his side, her twin braids threaded with red, her dark brown eyes shining with hope. Her buckskin tunic is dusted with snow, her beaded pouch with a stone talisman gripped tightly, her small frame a testament to resilience. Lydia Crane, 40, faces them from the front, her crimson silk dress gleaming, her blonde hair pinned tightly, her gray eyes cold behind a polished smile. A gold locket hides a key at her throat, her pearl-handled derringer tucked in her sleeve. Silver Creek needs progress, she declares, her voice smooth as ice, gesturing to a map of the Cheyenne burial ground. This land's worth a fortune. To cattlemen, I say we sell. The crowd murmurs, farmers and shopkeepers shifting uneasily, their faces etched with doubt. Judge Harlan, a grizzled man with a weathered hat, bangs his gavel. Speak your piece, Blackthorn. Why fight this? Cheyenne steps forward, his voice steady, like the prairie's pulse. That ground's sacred Cheyenne graves, my sister's among them, Sanny's mother. Lydia's men killed to claim it, and we stop them, sell it, and you sell this town's soul. Santa squeezes his hand, her eyes glistening, the truth of her family binding them closer. Lydia's smile sharpens, her eyes flicking to Mev. Bold words from a half-breed and his Irish stray. Mev O'Connor's no voice for Silver Creek. She's a foreigner stirring trouble. The crowd stirs, some nodding, others frowning, the air thick with judgment. Mev rises, her shawl falling back, her auburn hair a cascade of fire under. The lanterns, every eye locks on her, the barn's silent, but for the wind's distant howl. I came to Silver Creek an outsider, she begins, her Irish lilt clear, cutting through the tension like a hammer on steel. Lydia called me trouble for my hair, my accent, my work. But I stayed, forging blades, mending lives, because this town's more than profit its people. Cheyenne, Sanny, you. She gestures to the crowd, her brown eyes blazing. That burial ground holds their history, their blood. Let Lydia take it, and you lose what makes Silver Creek home. A murmur ripples, heads nodding, a few clapping. Santa steps forward, her voice small but fierce. My ma died for that land. Don't let her go for nothing. The crowd softens, their eyes on the girl, her talisman gleaming. Lydia's composure cracks, her gray eyes flashing. You'll ruin us, she snaps, her hand twitching toward her sleeve. Cheyenne's knife is out in a flash, his hazel eyes hard. Try it, Crane. Two townsfolk grab her arms, revealing the derringer, and Judge Harlan bangs his gavel. Enough, we vote now. The council retreats, the barn buzzing like a hive. Moev's hand finds Cheyenne's, their fingers entwining. Sanny pressed between them. The judge returns, his voice gravelly. By a vote of 5-0, the burial ground stays protected. Crane, you're under arrest for hiring those outlaws. The crowd erupts, cheers drowning out Lydia's protests as she's led away, her locket clattering to the floor. Outside, under a starlit sky, Mev, Cheyenne, and Santa stand on the prairie, the frost sparkling like hope. Your family now, Cheyenne says, his voice soft, his hazel eyes warm on Mev. She smiles, her heart full, her hand brushing Sanny's braids. We'll raise her together, she vows, their bond a spark of love igniting in the cold. But the prairie whispers of a new thread, a trade route cutting near the burial ground. The stars gleam, promising battles yet to come. Smash that like button if you cheered Moev's victory. Subscribe for more epic tales and hit the bell to never miss a story. Comment, have you ever fought for what's right? In the 1870s, Colorado's frontier towns often battled land grabs threatening native sites, with women and mixed heritage traders like Mev and Cheyenne leading